tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham. You know me as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well. It is beginning of the week, top of the week. It is Monday. We are moving along in the month of May like it's nothing. It's going through real quick. It's Monday already. I hope you had a great weekend. Looks like the Pensacola area had pretty decent weather all weekend, so hopefully you got out and did some things. Had a couple things, festivals going on in Pensacola. Hope you got out to check those out as well. But I want to thank you for tuning in once again, right here on The Truth with G. I'm here every Monday and Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And we talk about these issues that matter to you and your community. And once again, thank you to my listening audience. I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting the show. Coming up on 3 years. Still hadn't figured out the plans for the 3rd year anniversary celebration, but we're going to try to do something here to celebrate 3 years being on the air coming up here this summer. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being so loyal. Got some loyal listeners on. Looks like we have a few people that's joining us already on Facebook. Miss Deborah Rivers, she is on. That's my ride or die. She is with me just about every night. Appreciate her. Definitely appreciate her. Again, if I forgot to mention, we actually met face to face not too long ago, a week or two ago, whenever it was, but we actually met face to face. So it was a good thing to see a person who's been supporting me since day one. Really appreciate that. So it looks like we have also Miss Dorothy Saber is on. Good evening, Miss Saber. How you doing? Good to see you on here tonight. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Also, if you're on Facebook, let me know you're out there. Give me a thumbs up, heart, something. Let me know you're there. For those closet listeners, I understand you want to stay in the background. I ain't gonna call you out. Because I know I say a lot of stuff that you may not want people to know that you agree with. And I understand. So, but on today's show, we're going to talk about a few issues here. We're going to look at the local scene and what's going on locally, because we still have some foolishness going on. We definitely have some foolishness going on, and we're going to take a look at that today. Also, we're going to look at what the NAACP did here recently. We'll talk about that in regards to travel advisory that was issued. We'll talk about that. Mr. John Adams has joined us as well. Good to see you on here, Mr. Adams. Hope all is well with you. So let's go ahead and take care of the particulars so we can get through the show. We are on WPMM Internet Radio under the guidance of Change and Rising Media Group LLC, where we play more music here at WPM. We play the best in R&B and jazz, neo soul, independent hip hop, old school music, and it's not just talk radio. If anytime that there's not a show on, there's music, and if you want to hear music that is good music and a variety of music, and not just that booty shaking and that mumble rap and all that crap, tune in to WPMMradio.com and listen to the station. It's 24/7, and I guarantee you, once you put it on, you're going to enjoy the selection of music that you hear. So, but anyway, we are on iTunes. We are on the website again at WPMMradio.com. You can stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So, have someone who is not tech savvy, they can listen to the station by, all you have to do is text them, WPMMradio.com, text it to them. All they have to do is click on it, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own. It does not necessarily reflect the official position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align itself with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. I'm not even going to talk about the lawsuits because you already know about that 17 cents in that jelly jar. So I'm not even going to talk about that tonight. So, but once again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share if you're listening on the website. God bless you. God bless you. Hey, but here's the deal. Here's what's going on. First, well, let me do this first. Let me take the time out to acknowledge the class of 2023, high school and college grads. I think I mentioned it last show, but I want to make sure that I get that shout out today. Class of 2023. We have a lot of people that are graduating. Shout outs to my godson. I have a godson that's graduating on Thursday. It's like, wow, I was there when he was born, and now he's about to graduate high school. It's just saying, time don't slow down for you. They don't stop and wait for you. It don't seem like it was that long ago, but yeah, it was my godson. He's graduating Thursday. So speaking of Thursday, I will not be doing a live show because I will be in attendance of that graduation, and that graduation takes place during the airtime of my show. So unfortunately, I will not be doing a show that night. I will be attending the graduation. But shout out to all the 2023 grads from high school and college to meet that goal and get to that level is a great accomplishment because a lot of people don't get there. A lot of people don't get there. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to get there. Some people have to be honest, and some people get there by the skin of their teeth, if you will, in some cases. But if you work hard, you can achieve. So congratulations to the 2023 graduates. So let's talk about what's going on. And I want to talk about, I really need people to listen to what's happening in the state of Florida right now. I was going to just stay local in the Pensacola area, but we are worldwide. Internet radio, so we are worldwide. So I have to talk about things greater than just Pensacola as well. Pensacola is where we broadcast from for those listening abroad and in other cities and other states. Pensacola, Florida is where we are based. But we're talking about the state of Florida right now. We know that the state of Florida has an idiot, a racist, and a narcissist, and a wannabe autocrat as a governor. And we know, unless you have been under a rock somewhere, we know that a lot of legislation has been passed that is not friendly to Black people, brown people, LGBTQ community, and women, if you will. But particularly Black people. Most of the legislation being passed is based on a racist agenda. And it's not a dog whistle, if you will. Dog whistle is something quietly done under the radar. Anytime you hear the term dog whistle, but this is not what's going on in the state of Florida. Is not a dog whistle. It's an out and out bullhorn. It's saying it out loud. It's being racist out in the open. There's no hidden agenda. Even though people like DeSantis will say that is foolishness and this, that, and other, but you expect the racists and the narcissists to do things such as that, say that those type of things, and somebody who want to be a dictator, you expect that from them. So what is going on in the state of Florida? All these laws are being made to hinder the advancement of Black people. The NAACP, what the NAACP has recently done, that took place on May 25th. I had been hearing a little bit about this, but they officially had their I think a quarterly meeting here in May, and they officially put it on their agenda. And what they are doing is issuing a travel advisory for particularly Black people that are coming to Florida. It's also aimed at the LGBTQ community and also Hispanics. And you may be asking, what do you mean, G? What do you mean by a travel advisory? Well, this travel advisory, anytime a travel advisory is issued, and this is usually issued for foreign countries, for countries that are in somewhat of a war type situation, where Americans going to these countries are suggested not to travel to these countries because of the dangerous situation in those countries. Usually that's the only time that you hear a travel advisory being issued. However, with the state of our democracy right now, the state of the mentality of the white supremacists and racists and these dumbasses, the NAACP deemed it necessary to issue a travel advisory to Black people that are traveling to the state of Florida. The NAACP had deemed that the state of Florida is hate inspired, and that's coming from actions of the Florida government. Is hate inspired. Therefore, it put Black people at risk because of the legislation that's being passed and introduced in our state house and our state Congress, a state Senate, if you will. So they have deemed travel restrictions. It's your travel advisor, the state of Florida, basically saying that Black people traveling to Florida, their life is in danger. Okay. Which I totally agree with what the NAACP is doing. Because with the legislation that's being passed, it puts us in jeopardy. It puts us in a situation where we can even residents, Black residents of Florida, we can be killed and the person that killed us won't be prosecuted. Case in point. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I think 3 weeks ago, I believe it's been about 3 weeks ago, a gentleman by the name of Jordan Neely. He was a homeless man up in New York. He was a Michael Jackson. He does Michael Jackson impressions, if you will. This man was riding the subway. And again, he had a history of mental illness. He was riding the subway, and he was on the subway, and he apparently got loud about the fact that he was hungry. So he was hungry, and he was homeless, and he's mentally ill. So apparently he got vocal about the fact that he was hungry, and there was an individual, an ex-Marine, that deemed this man to be a hostile threat, even though he hadn't touched anybody, he hadn't assaulted anyone, he hadn't insulted anyone, he hadn't approached anyone. He was just simply being loud because he suffered mental illness and he was hungry and he was Black. What took place is that this individual took it upon himself to play vigilante, and he put Mr. Neely in a chokehold. Put him in a chokehold, took him to the ground, and he held that chokehold for approximately 15 minutes. After about 10 minutes of being in that chokehold, Mr. Neely went limp. He went lifeless, if you will. After Mr. Neely went lifeless, this ex-Marine, a white man, still held Mr. Neely in that chokehold for another approximate 5 minutes. When he finally let him go and medical staff showed up, they tried to resuscitate him. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. But he was dead on that subway train because he was Black, because he was mentally ill, and because he was hungry. He never committed a crime. He never assaulted anyone. He never pushed anyone. He never hit anybody. He didn't spit on anybody. He didn't kick anybody. He didn't try to shoot anybody. He didn't try to stab anybody. He did not do a thing except for was being vocal about the fact that he was hungry as a homeless, mentally ill individual. And I said all that. I told that backstory to get to this point. And I know we're talking about the state of Florida, and this is how state of Florida comes into this picture. This is on video. All this is on videotape. So it's nothing that is being made up. It's nothing that's being fabricated. It's nothing that an eyewitness had to tell. It is all on video. So here's how Florida ties into this whole situation. Dumbass DeSantis, the governor of Florida, dumbass racist DeSantis decided that this individual who killed Jordan Neely was unjustly arrested. And dumbass DeSantis, dumb racist DeSantis, decided to raise money for the defense fund for this individual that killed Jordan Neely. It's on video. Everything that happened is documented. It's on video. But in DeSantis' eyes, it is okay to kill a black man if you think that black man is a threat. He don't have to be a threat. Obviously, he don't have to make any threatening gestures. He don't have to use any threatening language. He don't have to commit an assault, a physical assault to anyone. If a white person deemed a black person as hostile and a potential threat, according to dumbass DeSantis, that black man has to die. A white man has the right to kill that black man because they deem him to be a threat. So that's how all that ties into Florida. And the legislation that is being passed in the state of Florida, it all points to that same type of situation. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was trying to check my audio here. I thought something had went wrong. But if you're just joining us, what we're talking about is the state of Florida. The NAACP has issued a travel ban, not a travel ban, a travel advisory. A travel advisory to black people who are venturing out to visit the state of Florida. We know Florida is one of the main tourist states in the country, if you will. There's more people that visit Florida than pretty much any other state. I think the only state that's close in regards to tourism may be California and New York. So the NAACP has deemed that the state of Florida is could be potentially harmful for black people to visit based on the state of relations in our state government, based on the policies and legislation that has been passed. So that's what we're talking about now. I know I'm talking to myself. We're not taking phone calls tonight, but we are on Facebook. We are on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I want to hear from you. I want to, you don't have to go into full detail or what have you, but I do want to hear from you to see what your thoughts are on this situation with Florida, with the NAACP issuing this travel ban. Not travel ban. I keep saying travel ban. Travel advisory. The last travel advisory was issued by the federal government was to Russia. Because if you traveled to Russia, you was entering into a hostile environment, if you will, a politically motivated hostile environment. And it was deemed that it was not safe to travel to Russia. Now we're having that issue to the state of Florida, thanks to dumbass DeSantis. Now, with DeSantis, and I'm going to say this, and I mean this with the utmost sincerity, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. With DeSantis, if you support DeSantis, if you support what he is doing in our legislation, if you support what he's doing in regards to blocking the learning of Black history, and in regards to taking the rights away from our LGBTQ community members, in regards to running all the Mexicans out of Florida, that makes the economy of Florida thrive. If you and all the racist legislation he has done to oppress Black people, again, where he said woke, Florida is where woke come to die. Anytime this man say woke, he's talking about Black people. Now, if you are one of these individuals out here that support this individual, support his policies, support his position, and you don't condone what he's doing, his position and whatnot, if you're one of those people, you can't like me. There's no way possible you can like me and support what DeSantis is doing. So with that in mind, if you are one of those people that support me, that support DeSantis, and you approach me, let me know up front that I support DeSantis, I support Trump. I just let me know up front who you are. Don't smile in my face and act like you like me, and you know that you are going with the racist platform that he has created as the governor of Florida. Let me know who you are. And that way we can have an open conversation about your position. That way we can talk about how ignorant you are. We can talk about how racist you are. We can talk about how immoral that you are, because I'm going to call it out to your face. I'm not going to hide like you dumbass racist people do, hide behind your beliefs. I'm not going to hide behind my beliefs. I'm going to tell you in your face that you're an asshole. So don't smile in my face and act like you like me when you're supporting a racist agenda, because you can't do both. You can't like me and support a racist agenda. I don't care what you say or how you try to say it or how you try to position it. It's not possible. It's not possible. So DeSantis is basically destroying the state of Florida. He is destroying the economy of the state of Florida. If you look at these, especially if you go to South Florida. If you go to South Florida and you go to where a neighborhood is being built, because you're going to find an area where they're building a brand new neighborhood. It's going to be somewhere out there. Go and pull up at 10 o'clock in the morning and drive through the area where they're building a new neighborhood. And you're going to see nothing. You're going to see no activity. And here you're not going to see any activity. It's because of the racist legislation that Ron DeSantis has imposed and made law, to where we know that the immigrants, the Mexicans, are the ones who make Florida prosper, regardless of how you look at it. The Mexicans have been a blessing to the state of Florida. I promise you, they have been a blessing. Those are the ones that do all the hard work that that white people are not going to do, because they think most of them think they're too good. Black people are not going to do because they think it's too hard. I hope I didn't lose anybody. I lost one of my streams here, but I hope I didn't lose anybody. I think we're still live. So I do apologize if I lost Facebook. Go to WPMMradio.com and we are there. So, but I lost one of my streams, but I think we're still on. But anyway, as I was saying, the Mexicans, they make the Florida economy what it is today. You can't go into a hotel and not see a large number of the staff there, particularly the house cleaning staff and the if there's a restaurant or any type of eatery in there, you'll see them in there. But you won't go into a hotel without seeing Mexican representation. You won't go into construction sites without seeing heavily Mexican representation. You won't go into these orchards where they're growing oranges and apples and fruit in South Florida. You're not going to walk out there and see white people or black people out there picking that fruit. You're going to see the Mexicans who are hard workers and good people out there doing that work. But DeSantis have made it a law to where if a company hires anyone who is undocumented, even though they're paying taxes or whatever, and they're contributing to the economy of that particular city, what have you, if a company employs any of those people, that company is going to be fined $10,000 a day for every undocumented individual that they have working for them. So now we know that trying to get documentation to be in this country, the way that ever since the Trump administration has been difficult. The path to asylum has been rough. But DeSantis is so hateful and so evil to where these people are here making all the efforts to contribute. They're working. If you got a Mexican family of 5 people, 8 people, all 8 of them are living in one house, all 8 of them out there working, all 8 of them are paying taxes, all 8 of them are contributing to the economy. And DeSantis is so hateful and so racist to where he doesn't care about any of that. He just don't want brown people and black people in the state of Florida, period. And if you support that, you kiss my ass, and then, we'll figure out how we're going to approach you from there. But first, kiss my ass. So this is where we are. This is where we are in the state of Florida, and I hope you guys are being vigilant in what is going on. I hope that you're staying abreast of what is going on, because the state of Florida is the legislation and the way DeSantis is governing the state of Florida. He is basically looking to run all black, brown, and members of the LGBTQ community out of the state of Florida. So that's why, and it's going to make it easier with the bills that were passed in regards to protests. He made it easier for if we decide to protest, that if we are deemed and people think that we're going to be hostile, we can be arrested. It's been passed in Florida to where if you're protesting and you're walking down the street and somebody think that you're going to come on their property and they shoot you because they think you coming onto your property, they can legally shoot and kill you in the state of Florida. So that's why the NAACP has deemed it to be a hostile environment for black people to travel to the state of Florida. Therefore, they have issued a travel advisory for people who are traveling to Florida, and that's people, black people, and they also have listed the LGBTQ community and Hispanics. Let's see, I'm trying to see your comment, Mr. Somerville. What's going on, Mr. Darrell? Good to see you on here. It said the people that support DeSantis, and yes, DeSantis. I'm sorry, I can't see. I got you. He said, yes, I spelled it right. right? They have blinders on so they don't deem nothing wrong with what he's doing. And then Ms. Dorothy Saber said that that's why Dwayne Wade and his family left Florida. Right? Yeah, Dwayne Wade did move his family to California because of the fact, he has a son, daughter, if you will, a son that identifies as female. In other words, he's a member of the LGBTQ community. And with the laws and things that's going on in the state of Florida, his now daughter can't even go to school and talk to a counselor about their situation or anything, because the counselor will get fired, teachers will get fired if they talk about the LGBTQ community or whatever case may be. It's just a mess. You can't learn about Black history. You can't learn about gender. It's DeSantis has destroyed Florida. And Mr. Somerville, I want to give just a slight pushback on what you said, and I agree with what you said. But you said the people that support DeSantis have blinders on, and I want to say I can't agree with the fact that people who support DeSantis have blinders on. And the reason why I say that is because I think the people that support DeSantis, they see exactly what he's doing, exactly what he's trying to do, and what his goal is. I don't think they're going into this blindly. They actually know what his agenda is, and that is to try to run all Black, brown, and gay people out of the state of Florida, and not to let any Black, brown, or gay people come into the state of Florida because of the rules and the laws. So I don't think they're taking a blind eye to it. I think they are fully aware, and that's why they support them. And I don't. Let me ask this question: is there a Black person? Is there someone? I'm gonna say Black person. I hate saying African American. We're all Americans. We're here. We probably descended from Africa, but we're in America. We were the ones that are born here in America. You're an American. So I hate saying African American because we're Black people. But anyway, if you're out there and you support DeSantis, just comment. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comment as to why you support DeSantis, and I'm curious to know. And if you can put that on there, and if you're brave enough to be honest about it, let me know. I would love to talk to you. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to pick your brain to see where you are mentally and why you feel that DeSantis is a good pick for governor or any other public office. And why is it that you don't think that DeSantis and his agenda and his beliefs are wrong? So if you're out there, just drop me a comment, and I just say yes, I support him, and I'll hit you up off the air. I'll hit you up in Messenger off the air, and we can set up a time to have a conversation. We can definitely do that. So, but anyway, that's what's going on in Florida, and it's crazy what's going on in Florida. But let's switch over. Let's switch over. If you're just joining us, we're talking about local issues, but we started in the state. But let's go to our local news. Let's talk about things that's going on locally here, and in our local news, we're still undergoing a lot of violence, a lot of violent activities and things. We're still having these shootings, drive-bys, things of that nature, and it's just getting out of hand. It looks like, and I'm not just talking about Black people when it comes to these type of crimes, if you will. Not just talking about Black people. I'm talking about the city of Pensacola as a whole. We have a problem, and it's not just Black people. looks like we had just recently what took place. Had him. They did make an arrest in the case of a man by the name of Luis Barrera. He was charged with murder after a woman he accused of shooting at a motel last week died at the hospital. So initially, it's reported of a shooting. But anytime a shooting take place, and even if it's days later, a year later, or whatever, and that person die as a result of the gunshot that put them in the hospital, the charge automatically goes up. So that young lady passed away. And I'm trying to get the story to pull up so I can give you some background on it. It's taking a little moment there to come up, but there has been an arrest made in that particular incident, that particular crime. Again, his name is Luis Becerra is his name. Looks like I may have another comment. Mr. Pugh. He said, I hear Jean Carroll is seeking. Oh, he said Jean Carroll is seeking another $5 million from the orange idiot, which is a total of $10 million. Yeah, it had been reported that after, matter of fact, it was a day after, 2 days after, whatever it was, right after the verdict came down in the rape civil law, the rape case where Trump was civilly sued and lost and had been found guilty and liable for the rape or sexual assault, if you will, of Jean Carroll. The next day, this dumbass went on CNN and did a town hall meeting and defamed Jean Carroll once again. See, that's how stupid he is. And for you people who follow him and support him, you're stupid too. You're very stupid. But just the very next day, because I think the verdict came down on a Monday, and I think he went on CNN on a Wednesday. I think that's how it went. But he's so stupid to where he went on CNN in front of millions of people and did the same thing that he just lost $5 million for. Which in a criminal case, if he had done that, he would have been sent to prison. If he found guilty if it was a criminal case, he would be locked up right now. But because it was a civil case, he has lost $5 million, even though they're going to appeal it. But they have no basis for the appeal. They have nothing to appeal on because he didn't even show up for court. He didn't even, the defense never put on one witness. They never called one witness to the stand. Trump didn't come to the stand. So how can you argue about having an appeal when you didn't even say anything or do anything in court? But that's how dumb he is and his lawyers are. He does have some pretty dumb lawyers. I tell you, I would not want any of the lawyers that he has because I don't know. But at the same time, his lawyers are doing what they're told to do. But I don't know. I don't understand. I promise you I don't understand. So, but yeah, after he said that, it's been said that she will probably file another lawsuit, and And I'm assuming, according to what you're saying, Mr. Pugh, she has filed a lawsuit. I haven't seen the actual paperwork or actual filing, but I knew that it was being floated around that she would file another lawsuit. So I'm glad she did. Staying on the local front, there was a story that came out, and again, the stuff that's going on in Pensacola is getting, it's not getting out of hand, it's out of hand. It's simply out of hand. And Mr. Summersfield said Cheetos man feel he is untouchable. Well, he's gonna find out pretty soon because he's gonna be indicted in Georgia here at the end of June, first part of August. And I'm gonna say it real quick on that one. What has taken place is that Fannie Willis, the district attorney there in Fulton County, Georgia, she has issued letters to the police departments, to the city of Atlanta, and what she is requesting is that at somewhere in the end of August, first part of, I'm not in August, end of June, that, yeah, I believe it's the end of June or end of July, one of them. But anyway, she's requesting that basically downtown be pretty much clear. She is asking that people who are able to work remotely from home be able to be sent home. I know there's, as far as people in her office, the majority of the staff will be working home for that month, except for a few essential personnel and any security detail. They will be the only ones to report to the office. She is requesting for the surrounding areas to do the same thing. And they would not be doing this if there wasn't an indictment that's coming down. If he was going to walk and not be indicted, there was no way on God's green earth she's going to try to clear the city because she's not sure what the MAGA assholes would do when he is indicted on those charges. And with those charges in Georgia, those are not civil charges. Those are criminal charges because those are federal charges that is taking place. So if he's indicted and he's convicted in Georgia, that means prison time. And I think what he has done with all with him being on tape, trying to find ballot votes, asking the elections officials to find votes, with the fake electors that they tried to set up to steal the vote from the people of Georgia, facing up to 20 years in prison if convicted. And I don't like to wish bad on people, but when you have people like him, the only way that he is going to be humbled is to be sat down. And he needs to be sat down in a prison cell to where he can think about all the wrongdoing that he has done throughout his pathetic 80-year life. So, but anyway, supposed to be on the local front. Let's get back to the local front. If you just joined me, we're talking about the state of Florida. I know I ventured off into federal land. And this story can't just hit us here in Pensacola. Pensacola woman is accused of beating a woman at a workplace and stealing her personal items. Yeah, I'm gonna put you out there because that's crazy. Lakevia Newton, 37 years old, was arrested Sunday and charged with battery and robbery. The incident happened Saturday night. According to the arrest report, the victim told deputies that she and Newton were arguing when Newton punched her and stole her phone. Said the report stated the victim said Newton showed up later at her work and started yelling at her as she was behind the counter. According to the report, Newton eventually walked behind the counter, shoved the victim against the counter, and struck her in the head and face several times. The report said Newton also grabbed her wallet, cell phone, then pinned her with her hand around her neck and hit her several more times before leaving. She is now being held in county jail on the $15,000 bond. See, this is the kind of foolishness that I'm trying to understand. Why? Why do we need this type of activity? Why do we need this type of violence? It is unnecessary. There was a drive-by shooting that took place on Paula Avenue, and I apologize, y'all. I'm trying to get this information to come up on me, and it's just not happening like I want it to. But there was a drive-by shooting on Paula Avenue that took place a couple days prior to today, and two individuals were struck. Both those individuals were taken to the hospital, and one of those individuals passed away. So now it's a homicide. It's not just a drive-by where someone was injured. It's a homicide. Why are we having drive-bys in Pensacola? Why? And this is not the first one. We've had several drive-by shootings to take place this year. Let's see. The story reads here. It says, Escambia County Sheriff Office deputies are searching for suspects after Saturday's fatal Warrenton drive-by shooting. Escambia Sheriff Office is continuing to investigate the fatal drive-by shooting that happened Saturday. Deputies arrived on Paula Avenue after reported gunshots. Reported gunshots on the street. On arrival, they found two men with gunshot wounds. Said we weren't able to get any suspect information from either the victims or the witnesses. Then the fact that they were seen leaving in a newer model sedan with silver trim, and that's all the information they got. A newer model sedan with silver trim. That's not telling much. The mom of the victim said, "I missed my son," and said, "Mom, a murder Pensacola teen joins law firm in demanding security changes." Just senseless. And we're seeing these drive-bys taking place more and more here in Pensacola. Just senseless violence. I don't understand how there's that much beef amongst anyone to where you would risk your life. And I'm talking about the people that's out there shooting. Is it really worth risking your life to spend the rest of your life in a prison cell than to squash some beef that you're having over something that is more than likely not even yours? It's probably over some territory of some sort that you don't even own. You don't own a block, you don't own property, you don't own anything, but you're willing to risk the rest of your life, of your freedom, to shoot and kill someone because of a beef, whether it be over claiming territory, whether it be over a female or male, or why is it worth risking your life and your freedom over stupidity? I don't understand the mentality. And I was talking to my son in regards to the new law that's going to change here in July, in regards to the concealed carry laws. And talking to my son, it seems like the younger kids or young men under the age of 21 don't even understand what that law is, because what's being said is that what they're thinking is that, okay, after July 1st, I can carry a gun and I won't even get in trouble for it. And they don't even know and not even aware of the fact that the laws in regards to being able to carry is not changing. They're just dropping the license. You don't need the license, but you still have to adhere to the age requirement. It is still going to be 21 years of age in order to conceal carry. After 21, you can conceal carry without a license. But talking to my son, these young folks think that after the 21st that they will be allowed to carry as long as they're 18 years old. Let's see. Mr. Pugh got a comment, and I apologize if I start looking crazy. I can't see crap, and I'm struggling trying to see these screens, and it is so hard for me to do. And I've explained it many times. I explain it again. I look at a computer screen all day long at work and doing my day job, if you will. And once I get off that computer screen, my eyes are blurred. It takes several hours. It takes about 2.5, 3 hours for my sight to stop being blurry. And unfortunately, I'm on the air within an hour after I get off of work. So my eyesight is blurry. So I'll be struggling trying to read these comments, but I'm going to get it in. I'm not illiterate, even though I went to public school. I'm not illiterate. And I just trying to see what I'm reading. So you guys bear with me. Mr. Labs, you said we have mental illness and anger management problems in Pensacola and other places. That is very true, Mr. Pugh. That's very true. And I'm also going to piggyback on that and also say that we have a lot of peer pressure as well, where people don't want to be a punk, if you will. Because, and what I'm saying about that is, if you're hanging with a group of people, a certain group of people, and that group of people think that if you let this person say that to you, or you let this person do this to you, and you don't do anything about it physically and violently, then you're a punk, you're a bitch, you're a hoe, you soft. And we have people that fall into that rabbit hole, if you will, and to prove to their peers that they're not soft and they're not a punk and this, that, and the other, they will go out there and do something stupid just to prove something to the same people who's going to rat them out and is going to snitch on them if he get caught doing it. The same people who, once they get caught, the same people who's not going to come visit them, the same people who is not going to put any money on their books for them to buy commissary while they locked up, the same people who are not going to be there after they get out of jail in 15 years, they will try to impress those people and risk their own life to go to prison or go to the jail. And Mr. Pugh says 20 to life is a heavy price to pay. You're exactly right. Mr. Pugh, 20 minutes is too long for me. You can't lock me up for 20 minutes. I can't do it. I'm a 55-year-old man, and I can proudly say that I've never been arrested. I've never been in handcuffs. I've never been in the back of a police car. A police station or jail as a suspect or defendant. The worst thing I have on my record is a traffic ticket. And I haven't had a traffic ticket in probably 10 years. May have been longer than that, but I'm going to say 10 years. because I don't do anything stupid. Even though I'm a hothead, I ain't gonna lie, but I'm a smart hothead because I'm not willing to risk my freedom, and people know that if they get caught, they're going to jail, especially black men, our black men. If you get caught and you get caught up in our system, in our judicial system, you're going to go to jail for a long time. Even if your counterpart, your white counterpart, did the same crime, same type of situation, and y'all both will go before the judge, you more than likely, and this is based on statistics, more likely that black man is going to jail for a longer prison term than that white man will. And I'm not saying that to be racist. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's been. It's not right. It needs to be changed. We need judicial reform, but that's the way it is. And that's still not a deterrent for these young people, for these young men to put their head on straight, stop giving in to peer pressure, and think for themselves. And to, if they have an anger issues, for people around them to recognize the fact that they may have anger issues and to help them. Is I don't understand what it's going to take to get people to think like normal people. But that's where we are. That's where we are, and I just hit on a few of the stories that's going on in Pensacola, and I guarantee you, for every story that hit the news in Pensacola, there's 4 or 5 that don't hit the news. For every one shooting that hit the news, there's 4 or 5 that don't hit the news, because a lot of times in regards to news stories, and I've learned this by talking to people in the media. When a shooting takes place, it may not be covered unless there's a victim, unless somebody's been shot, unless somebody's been injured, somebody's been killed. They're not going to report on every shots fired call that we have in Pensacola, Florida. And if you see the number of homicides that we have, it seems like every week, every 2 weeks, we have a homicide. And if they reported every shots fired call in Pensacola right now, the better part of the news will be filled with how many responses that the sheriff department and the Pensacola Police Department had to respond to shots fired. And there's no victim. There's no injured victim, if you will. Let's see. Mr. Pugh says, on a lighter note, will the Lakers get swept tonight? Here's my prediction on the Laker game tonight. And this is coming from I was a Laker fan. I was a diehard Laker fan back in the day, in the days of Magic and Kareem and Jamal Wilkes and Cooper and James Worthy and Kurt Rambis and Byron Scott and Michael Thompson. I was a diehard Laker fan, and I still remain a Laker fan. And when the Kobe era came around, I was kind of turned off because I felt like Kobe was a ball hog and he dropped them in the hole a lot of times. And, all he had to do was pass the ball. I think they would have had many more championships if he had to just pass the ball more than what he did. He took some shots that I just didn't agree with, and they pissed me off. But anyway, now we got LeBron in LA. They came in as the 7th seed. They're facing the number 1 seed in Denver. That big guy in the middle for Denver, something Vic, whatever his name is. They can't stop him. They haven't stopped him in 3 games. They're not going to stop him tonight. And I think they're going to get swept. And I'm gonna say this as well. Here's, and I meant to say this the other day, but I didn't. For people out there that continuously hating on LeBron, And this is coming from someone who I like LeBron. I think he has one of the most solid games in the history of basketball. It's a I know we try to have these debates on who's the GOAT and this, that, and the other. But we are comparing people who played in different eras, if you will. The debate has basically been is LeBron the GOAT or is Michael Jordan's the GOAT or what have you. But it's different eras, so I can't say who's the GOAT, who's the greatest player. But here's what I am going to say. I don't understand why the burden has been put on to LeBron James to win a championship every single year that he's in the league. And if they don't win a championship, then they call LeBron, oh, LeBron is not the GOAT. LeBron's this, LeBron's that. He's not soft. He ain't this. If he was a GOAT, he wouldn't let this series go this way, and he wouldn't let that game go that way, or he would have hit this shot, at the end of the game, or he wouldn't have missed that layup if he was the GOAT. My question to you, non-Laker fan and non-LeBron fans, is why do y'all put the pressure on LeBron to win a championship every single year when you didn't put that same pressure on people like Michael Jordan? You didn't put that same pressure on Magic Johnson. You didn't put it on Larry Bird. You didn't put it on Shaquille O'Neal. You didn't put it on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You didn't put it on Nowitzki. You didn't put it on the other kid in San Antonio. You didn't put that pressure on any other player in the history of basketball, but you're putting that on LeBron's shoulder to where if he don't win a championship every single year, he's a failure. Keep in mind, he has what, 4 championships? Keep in mind, he has been to 12 conference finals. But if he don't win a championship, people say that he ain't nothing. I don't understand that. But anyway, I think the Lakers will get swept tonight. They're going home after tonight. But I think at the same time, it was a great feat for them to reach the conference finals based on the year that they had. They at one point in time, the Lakers weren't even being forecast to make the playoffs. They ended up making the playoffs. They came in as the number 7 seed. Right, Mr. Pugh said he's an all-time leading scorer. But they weren't expected to get this deep in the play. They weren't expected to be in the playoffs. But they got the number 7 seed. They have made it to the conference finals. They beat Golden State to get there. But still, we have the haters on LeBron. And I'm not saying LeBron is my favorite player in the world or whatever the case may be. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to understand why that burden is being put on LeBron when it has not been put on any other player in the history of basketball. Even on Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't win a championship every time that he was and every year he was in the league. He won 6, but he played in the league more than 6 years. He didn't win a championship every year, but nobody said, "Oh, because they didn't win a championship, he's not the greatest." So why put that burden on LeBron? Let that man do what he do. He's the first billionaire to come out of basketball, and I think he's done a wonderful job in representing for the NBA. I think he's done a great job representing for black men in the NBA. There has not, out of this man's 20-year career, there has not been any scandals. There hasn't been any misbehavior. He has maintained a squeaky clean image in 20 years of being in the NBA. And I think that speaks volume because, we have people like Ja Morant out there in Memphis who been in the league for 17 minutes and already has made a name for himself as being an idiot. But But LeBron has represented the NBA and has represented black men as a whole in professional sports. He has represented them well. And I give him his just due. I give him his accolades. As far as trying to name a GOAT, the greatest of all time, I'm not even going to do that because we have players playing in different eras. You know, Bill Russell is the one that has all the rings. He got, what, 10, 11 rings. So why is he not touted as the GOAT? So, but anyway, that's that. Lakers will get swept tonight. It's about time for me to get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I want to say that on Thursday, I will not be doing a live show on Thursday because I will be attending my godson graduation on Thursday. He is walking across the stage and receiving his diploma and then venturing on into the rest of his life. I've been around him since he was born. Before he was born, I was around. And congratulations to him and all the 2023 graduates from high school and college. I wish you all well. Hope that you go on and grow and prosper and be productive citizens. Register to vote. You know, all of you graduating should be turning 18 or at 18. You can register to vote even though you're not 18. Exercise your right to vote. You know, our forefathers and foremothers, they paid a price for us to have that privilege to vote. So make sure that you get out, register to vote, and actually vote. You have an opportunity coming up in 2024 to exercise your right. Don't miss out on that opportunity. So, but that's going to do it for me, guys. I will be back on. Matter of fact, I won't be back on until a week from today, next Thursday. Monday is the holiday. I will be traveling for the holiday, so I won't be live that Monday. So I'm going to miss you guys. It's going to be a week before I be on. And next Thursday, 6:00 p.m., I may pop in on Facebook and do a live or something of that nature. But as far as the show goes, no show Thursday, no show Monday on the holiday. You guys have a great holiday weekend, 3-day weekend coming up. You guys be safe. Make sure that you're being responsible. Take care of yourself. It is cheaper to get a Uber or a tow truck than it is to get a DUI. So be responsible, people. Do the right thing because I want to see you next week. So until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.